Hi there. If you've been looking for ways to be able to upgrade the design of your website or add that little customized touch that you normally could only get from custom code or by hiring a professional, then you're going to want to watch today's video. I'm going to be sharing with you a recently released update to the Squarespace design editor that is going to allow you to add that extra special touch to your website without having to know any custom code. But before we dive in, if we haven't met before, I'm Meg. I'm a yoga and meditation teacher and Squarespace web designer for wellness pros. I'm the founder of Floating Lotus Design, and I'm here to help you elevate your wellness website and business without the tech overwhelm. If at any point during this video you like what you're seeing, go ahead and tap that like button and even hit subscribe if you're so inclined. As a small channel, I really appreciate your support and getting your feedback. And with that, let's get started. So today I want to share with you a recent update in the Squarespace design editor that allows you to customize your section dividers. This is a great way to be able to add a little personalized touch to your website and up-level your design and the look of your website without having to use custom code, which was previously required to do this. So without further ado, we'll just get over to my demo site and I'll show you exactly how to do it. So here we are over in my demo site, and to get started, I've just created a really simple page for us. We've got some group sessions with a beige background, testimonials with a white background, and a subscribe to your newsletter section here with that beige background again. All of these, you will notice, have just a standard out-of-the-box, straight across division, nothing fancy from moving from one section to the next. But we can change that. We can get a little bit funky and fancy if we want to. So here's how to do that. To start, I'm going to hit Edit Section. And you'll notice here, I'm going to move this over so it's a little bit more obvious. Down at the bottom of your edit block, you can switch on Divider. And what you'll see here is, we scroll down here, you start to get some shapes, some definition to this line that you didn't have before. Here's what you need to know. When adding a section divider, you're always adding the divider as you're customizing this divider. It's going to be the bottom of the section. So keep that in mind. You can't do it to the top or the bottom. So in effect, whatever you do to this bottom of this section above, it does impact how the next section looks. So just keeping that in mind. So for starters, we've got a basic curved line that comes up as a default. You have the option of adding stroke. And the stroke is just basically adding a border to the bottom of your section. And if you decide to do that, you have the option here of changing the color. You can choose from your palette. You can go custom, whatever you want to do. You can change the thickness of it, small, medium, large. You can even customize that if you want. So I can make it really thick and I can make it really thin. But whatever you want to do there. If you want to have that, you can also make it a dashed line. For purposes of our demo today, I'm just going to turn that off just so you can get an idea of the shapes. So again, Start comes up with a default. You'll get this option over here to shuffle settings, but probably most times you're not going to take advantage of this. And then here is where you want to choose other styles and other settings. Here we have the defaults of this simple curved line here at the bottom. And let's just stick with that for the moment. You can start with a setting of changing the width. And what this does is you'll see here, it changes the width of that curve. So if you choose small, it makes a bunch of small little curves. Medium gets a little bit bigger. And large is basically what we started for. And as with all things, you have the ability to customize that. You can make it really crazy, go nuts. Let's just stick with the large here. You can go with height. This is a very subtle curve when it's set to small. If I go with medium, it gets a little bit more pronounced, and so on. So you can play around with that. Let's go with the medium so we can see this a little bit better. You also have the option to flip the orientation of the divider. Some of these I'll show you in a moment. You can flip both vertically and horizontally. In this case, we're going to flip it this way. So now instead of the curve being this way, it's going in the opposite direction, so you can have some fun with that. Alignment, kind of mess around with that. So, this is a way, so you can play around with that and where the points come in. If you know exactly your pixel count, I'm just going to reset it back to 0. from where we began. So you can play around with all those settings as well and get it even more customized. You can go back to your default straight. Let's just kind of quickly go through these. You're just rounding the corners. Again, you can play around with that, but kind of gives an interesting kind of like you're scrolling through a card. Here you just have a slanted line. Again, this one you can flip this way. Again, seeing what happens when you play around with the width, the height, how dramatic you want it. This is the same, but with a curved line. This one you can flip vertically or horizontally. Have fun with it. So you can play with all of these different border styles and add a nice personal touch to your website. Make something that, gives some fun with how it flows. I'm going to kind of come back to this one. I like this one. I'm going to make this one going to go medium. I like this kind of wave effect. I've got a beach feel here. So I'm going to have this wave effect on this first section. And then I'm going to go down and I'm going to go to the next section. And I'm going to do something similar. Maybe I want to continue this flow all the way down. So again, we'll edit the section. We'll throw a divider. I can just click here. And like I said, I wanted to go back to that wave. So I can repeat and keeping the settings the same, a little bit, consistent in that way. If I were to flip it, kind of changes that look there. You have a little bit of a different effect and feel to it. But you can have a little bit of fun with it. Play with the color, play with whether or not you want a border on it. But in the end, what this really gives you is the ability to add a personal touch, a slightly more customized, stylized feeling that can really just impact the visual experience on your website and give it something that stands out a little bit from the standard straight lines. And you can have fun with it and really make it your own. And before, you used to have custom code to be able to do this. And if that is not something you're interested in figuring out or playing around with, which, most people aren't going to want to do. Now it's out of the box, available to everybody. It's really easy to use and it's a lot of fun. Give it a try. Have some fun customizing your site a little bit and adding a little flair that suits your needs. As always, I hope you found that helpful and that you'll give it a try. Have some fun adding a little bit of a personal touch to your design and playing around with this new feature. I think you'll really like it. If you want to see some more tutorials or more news about updates of Squarespace, be sure to check out the playlist. I'll link it over here for you. And be sure to check out the description down below. I've got a lot of really great links for you for some free resources and information that I think you'll find really helpful. And also you can learn a little bit more about me and how you can work with me if you do want a little bit of professional help with your site. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you again soon.